is a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to SimWorld today. I'm B-Ron. Alongside me is my co-host, Yells. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Man, I am. Be Ron, I am great, and I mean like great today. Once this show's over, I'm diving into everything SimWorld, hoping to take the SimWorld jet around the globe
Around the globe.
yeah.
All
I think
right.
there's some. I think I'm gonna take out check out some footage and some pickup games around the world today. So I'm excited about that, and all the while I will have a nice cold beverage. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh man. And
Oh
I'm
man.
not talking orange juice. I'm not talking orange juice.
Well, look, man, that's good. I'm happy for you. Enjoy that trip around the world today, perhaps. And but first, we got a show to do. So let's do that.
Let's
Arthur
do it.
Lattimore and Gabe Pope got into a bit of an altercation on social media last night. There was a discussion going around about SimWorld prep, dream teams, that kind of stuff, and it seemed like things kind of, got a little heated between those two. Is that you think a sign of things to come between those two players? Because personally, I wouldn't have expected to see those two get into any kind of uh beef. I don't know if we're going to call it that, but yeah, just I don't know how I have a question on this, but what are your general thoughts, I guess, on the whole thing?
Uh, I mean, I think beef is always good, right? Beef is good. I like beef in the morning with my steak and eggs. I like beef in the evening with a steak and something else. And for lunch, hey, why not throw a little chopped beef in the salad or get your little chopped beef sandwich? Do what you got to do. And in the sports world, it's no different. Beef is good. I'm not shocked. These guys, they're basketball players. They're competitors. Like, are they pretty quiet on the gin? Yeah, I mean, they generally play nice. Gabe Pope normally pretty nice, but he's been outspoken. It's not shocking. Arthur Lattimore, we don't hear a whole lot about him. He doesn't come out in the media feed talking a whole lot in social media and all of that. His game talks big. I don't know what it was about yesterday. He said, "Hey, I want to go hard in the paint." You see what I did there? He
Yeah.
said, "I want to go hard in the paint today," and I just want to go for what you know. To be honest, I wish more of our kids would do more of this. Now, if they just let it
Careful
linger
what you
and
wish for.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want them to be super sensitive and be all touchy feely. You know what I mean? Or on the
Yeah.
other end of that, just drag something out. But hey, say it with your chest. Say how you feel. That's what makes the regular season and the race to one even more impactful. Those feuds and then seeing what happens later down the line between these players. But I like to see it. That's all I can say. I like to see it. I like what the topic was they were battling about. I think they both brought some valid points. But we're talking basketball, so I care what happens on the court, and it looks like both of them have made some great strides in the offseason. So I want to see what happens when they meet on the court.
Definitely keep a pin in this one for November, whenever the season starts up, and whenever we see Southeast Select to play Cascadia or wherever Offline decides to go. That's foreshadowing for later on. We'll get to that topic later on in the show.
Yeah,
Let's move on, though. Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Um. So we know that Trey Turner and LDO are moving on to the college ranks here. So, posing a question for you: who has more of an impact in their freshman season? Trey Turner at Tennessee or LDO at Memphis? Both Tennessee schools, so like that's kind of
I
cool
know
that they're both in the
Tennessee.
same state.
Tennessee's looking good out here, aren't they? I mean, hey,
Yeah.
not a whole lot to do, but basketball-wise, it's popping. And don't forget, they have another kid down there, a recruit. That's been is that Monty Parsons, or am I thinking?
Right?
Is it Dexter Jackson? One of those kids is
One of
from
those two.
Tennessee. Look, I want to get it right before I move on, making my point here. Give me just 1 second. Make sure
Yeah,
I
of
got
course,
my
of course.
info. Oh yeah, it's Mr. Dexter Jackson. Shout out Dexter
Okay.
Jackson. Nashville in the house. But yeah, LDO does not make the bigger impact. And I'm not saying it's not because of his game. For me, I think I've seen what he can do with total control of a team and with a high amount of usage. There at Best Coast Ballers, that's one of the great things about SimWorld Prep is it is a prep level basketball league, one of the best. But SimWorld Prep is just that. It's prep. but it's preparing you for the next level. I'm not sure any other prep level league is doing that in the way SimWorld Prep is, giving you the NBA 3 and a few other NBA rules. So it's a downgrade when you go down to collegiate level in some regards, because you gotta go back to some of these collegiate rules and all that. But all that being said, we saw what LDO could do with a high usage rate. I'm not sure he's going to get that kind of usage rate at Memphis, because their recruiting classes are
At least not right away.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to get the opportunity to do what he did at Best Coast Ballers. Do I think he's going to be a great player? Absolutely. I thought he was a Player of the Year candidate, while some other people on some other shows on SimWorld TV were out here hating on him, saying it was a foregone conclusion. But I think he was up there. LDO. On the other end, Trey Turner. I'm almost scared to see what he does with more minutes in a game. Number one, there were only 32 minutes in a game last season. He's knocking down like 4 billion gajillion threes per game,
right,
and shooting them at 60-something% from NBA level, from NBA distance. And Coach Brad Lee, for whatever reason, knew what he was doing, but not enough to win the championship. Zing. He knew what he was doing, but he was only playing Trey like 25, 26, 27 minutes a game. So I think Trey is going to get more clock than that, more run than that at Tennessee, and I think it will be scary for the rest of the SWUB, for the SWUB as we call it. I think it's going to be terrifying for them, because you know what happens at the collegiate level. You know what that coach out there in Tennessee is going to do? He's going to run a structured offense, and I bet Trey Turner is going to get that ball, and I bet he's going to be running off of pin downs and screens, and I bet he's going to get a lot of three-point shot opportunities, and I bet we're going to get to see more of his bag than just three-point shooting. I think Trey Turner, right out the gate, is a Player of the Year candidate. Yes, as a freshman. I said it, because shooting's everything, man.
Yeah, agree with you 100%. Gotta go with the Rocky Top kid over there and Trey Turner. I think that's where it is right now. LDO, like you said, he's a guy who needs to have the ball in his hands to really make an impact, from what I've seen anyway. And I don't think he's gonna have that kind of opportunity, at least not right away at Memphis. Maybe however long he decides to stay there, junior, senior year, maybe he'll definitely have that chance then. But early on as an underclassman, probably not. So Trey Turner will definitely have more opportunities to shine and as a result make the bigger impact.
He shot 66% from three and made 152 threes in 22 minutes a game. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Cut it out. So, look, King Lattimore.
Yeah.
It's been a going. Is he going to take this crown somewhere else? Coach Pope had to step down. And prayers up to him and his family and everything. Absolutely. With all that. But on the basketball side of things, where does that leave his players? Where does that leave his returning players that he has coming to that team? Which is a host of players, actually. You got Q Dozier, Jetson Halliday, who I'm a big fan of. Let's say his full name, Jetson Halliday the third. Tamarius, Shaquarius, Contarius, Holloway. I'm just joking. Not the original McGrady. Chris Owens, who I think is exceptionally talented.
Not the original McGrady.
And then you pair him with Arthur Lattimore, who was I've said it a million times, I think he's a monster. I think he's an absolute monster, but the kid's from Texas. I think he went out there to play with Coach Pope. I think that's the only reason that he would take his talents to Seattle, Washington, of all places, to play at Parallel Fairgrounds, was to play with Coach Pope. If Coach Pope's not there, why should he be there? Does he take his crown and go elsewhere? I think so. Do I know where? No. I have some hopes and dreams on where he may go, but I don't think he stays.
H-Town?
I don't know, man. I can't say too much. I don't know too much, so I shut up.
I understand. Look, as much as I would like to sit here and say that he goes somewhere else, I don't think he does. And I say that because I feel like he's in a really good spot right now to be that number one option in Cascadia right now.
He was the number one option last year.
That's what I'm saying. He was number one last year. Could he be the number one this year? Why go somewhere else and risk not being the number one or having to share your touches with someone else. If you can get all of the workload, then in my opinion, you should do it. This is prep level. We say it all the time, yo. It's prep level. You should be putting yourself in the best opportunity to get your numbers where you can get them. If that's the kind of player you are, put yourself in that position. Lattimore last year, SimWorld all B team, all world B team, made
Oh, that
Saturday
hurts.
showcase.
That sounds bad too. Call that man
It does.
B team like that. It
It
doesn't even
does.
feel
It
good.
does. But
Don't feel
it
right
does.
either.
That's a lot of talent there that we have in SimWorld Prep. Anyway, he's got interest from right now Texas, Oregon, and Houston right now. So he's got opportunities, and I feel like staying in Cascadia is going to give him the best chance to continue to improve those college options, perhaps, and just get him to be that true number one. He doesn't have to share the ball with anyone else. If he goes somewhere else, like H-Town or Lone Star, for example, he could have to share touches with Nini at Lone Star, or let's say one of them lands Royce Anderson, for example. Royce Anderson goes there. There's a lot of what ifs involved, and then with H-Town, there's Vincent Magic there. Cam Jones might be returning to the team. There's a lot of things there where I feel like Lattimore needs to stay put where he is, continue to be that number one option, and ride it out. Get your numbers up.
I think he's going to get his numbers up no matter what. I don't think he's a second option no matter where he goes. So that's my one thing I'll say about that, B-Ron. That's all I'm saying on that point. I don't think he's a second option. I don't see how that's possible no matter where he goes. Is he going to play alongside Trey Turner or LDO? No. Is he going to play, because they're gone, right? Is he going to play alongside Bronny James? No, he's not here anymore. Is he going to play alongside, let's see here, Trey Hyman? I don't know. Maybe. But then even that's questionable. I think Arthur Lattimore, offensively, you give him the ball. Like I said, he's Carmelo Anthony reincarnated to me. You give him the ball on the elbow, you let him work. The elbow is a 3-tier scoring area. You can do anything from there. There's not very many of those guys in SimWorld Prep that can go get it on a 3-level scoring at that point, at that area of the court. Most of them need the ball in their hand, go take you off the dribble all the air out the damn ball before they what they possibly pass to somebody else, so they need a point guard to get them the ball on the low block, or they got to come off a screen. But to be able to just handle that ball at the elbow and do whatever you want to do, there's not very many kids in SimWorld Prep that can do that. So he's a number one option, in my opinion.
All right. I think that he should just stay where he is. He's already number one where he is. Why go somewhere else? And like I said, risk not being number one or anything like that. That's just my thoughts on that. I don't think he goes. I think he stays where he is.
Touche. He's also number one in your heart, apparently, B-Ron.
Yes. He is. In both our hearts, according to yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, touche. Get him, Arthur. Get him, Gabe. Y'all go at it, man. Put those gloves on the court. I mean metaphorically, guys. Metaphorically, put the gloves on.
We don't want to have to spend nobody out here. Well, not we, but you know what I mean. Anyway, look, OGs, they have to replace their number one option, DJ Wagner, and his production. How in the world did they go about doing that, in your opinion, Yels? Because that's tough. That's a tough task to replace someone of Wagner's caliber.
A tough task, indeed. When you say replace someone of his caliber, we're not just talking about the 21 points a game that led his team. We're not just talking about the 4 assists a game that led the OGs. We're not just talking about him shooting 56% from the field and from the perimeter position. Here, we're not talking about his 78 threes, which is just short to Kadarius, and his 44%, 45% if you're rounding up from deep. We're not talking about the fact that he's grabbing almost 4 boards a game for the team. We're talking leadership. Did they get it done? No. Were there times where we would have liked to see the ball in his hands more? Yes. I'm gonna be honest. I think he was just out there playing a team game, a victim of playing team ball, a lot like Jamison Johnson was last year. But I think that's where Coach and his other teammates should have forced the ball his way more, and things may have been different. But he's a leader. He's a baller. He knows how to play the game of basketball, IQ-wise. That's all gone now. And right now, you're left with a defensive stalwart in Victor Ilgauskas, if he stays. You're left with a budding superstar named Kamari Ward from Florida, if he stays, and Jace Daniel. So how do you
Yeah.
replace him? You get out there. You got to be recruiting, man. There's some kids in that area. Josiah Mulkey, Dior Bates has hit the scene again. UConn's looking at him. Georgetown's looking at him. He's been playing in some other leagues, and he's a scorer. You got Johnny Hero out of Baston.
Johnny
Yeah.
Hero. That's a
Hey,
perfect name.
perfect name.
Perfect
He
name
can
for a
come in
Boston
and he
kid.
can save
Get him
them.
in there.
Throw that cape on, and maybe you could save this squad from what looks like absolute obscurity after DJ leaves. There's a host of other guys you got in there. You got some guys with some height, and they're pretty big in their states. I'm not sure how big Rhode Island basketball is, but you got some Camarion Haywoods and Chris Coates. I'm not sure how much they're hooping in Maine, but we could find out because their top guy was Colson Vanderpool. And then I'm not sure what they're doing in New Hampshire. Like, do they even have basketball goals in New Hampshire? But there's a kid that's been highly touted out of New Hampshire, and his name's Tyree Moy, excuse me. And he's about 6'7", 210, and can go get a bucket. So I think you got to recruit in your own backyard, keep it close to home, and see if you can go snag somebody from another region, see if you can pay up and bring them in. Simple answer, which I've taken the long way, as I normally do. I'm sure y'all are used to that by now. You can't replace his production. I think you're going to have to do it by committee, and you need to bring in the right pieces to do it by committee with a strong strategy. I think this is the season. Coach Dodge has definitely done a job last year, the year before, making a star out of, well, let me not say making a star, finding the star in Johnny Ballgame Baldwin. This past season, she was handed a star. I'm sure she did her work to land him in DJ Wagner and some other people. But this is the season where we're going to find out what she's all about, because it's going to have to be done by committee, because by all accounts, from what I see, there's no megastar on this team.
Yeah, as of right now, with the three players they have, none of them are. There's, like you said, one in the making, Kamari Ward, I think. Ilgauskas potentially could be a solid big man for them coming into season 2. But, yeah, no star right now. They could have to find one. Or, like you said, do it by committee, like Rocky Mountain did. In my opinion, that's where they, even though they had Justin Bell as the quote-unquote star of the team, they had other kids around him who could produce in their own right. It wasn't just Justin Bell.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I missed Caleb Boating out of Boston, too. There's a couple Boston kids out there that can make some waves. So, yeah, just mentioning them. Hey, look, we help recruit out here, too. We got your back.
Yeah, exactly. So, final topic. Let's get into this one. We're looking good on time. This is good. Maybe Bruce will be in our ear today. Kevon Jackson, still on the rate and trays. There was talk about him leaving. He said he was, done around the wrist at one time, and now it's all quiet over there. Change of heart on him, perhaps? You think?
As I've said many times on this show, because I'm going to defer to you because I feel like I beat this drum. Young man, all of you young guys, I love this SimWorld Prep League. I love that these kids have a voice. But your kids, quiet your voice down, because your mind is going to change, and about whatever you said 5 minutes ago is going to be different 5 minutes after that. Your opinions are easily swayed by the opinions of other people, and I think we've seen that. So, is his mind changed? Of course it is. And did I anticipate it? Of course. Is it going to change again after he hears the show? Probably. Whatever. They're all over the place. I think you kids need to work. SimWorld Prep is the one place where you're able to technically work through an agent at the prep level, because they're not really helping you with any pro level contracts. Are restricted to keeping you here at this level and working through you. So work through you. This is a prime example of working through a legacy group and not putting all your business out in the street, because you're kids, you're fickle. If you weren't kids, you're fickle. Humans are fickle. No, most people don't stand firm in their opinions for more than like 5-10 minutes anymore. So yeah, of course he changed his mind. Of course. So that's where I stand with that.
Okay, so look, they have two open roster spots. If he did change his mind,
But
I
that
think that's
doesn't mean
good
it's
for
final,
him.
B-Ron. I don't think it's final. That's my whole point is changing mind. I don't think the opinion or decisions are made by these kids until, I don't know, like what do they say, like a quarter, half past hour or a quarter to midnight or whatever. I don't know what the saying is. So I think there's more mind changing to occur.
Okay, fair enough. I think that he's kind of seen what's going on, and maybe he decided, you know what, I think I'm good here. Me, Jafet Town make a good combination,
Yeah.
and with another year under our belt, maybe we can make some noise this coming season. So I think that if he is going to decide to stay, then I think he made a good decision to do so. Um, so yeah, that's all I really had to say on that one. Nothing too crazy from me.
Hey
Uh,
kid, looking forward to seeing you dunk that thing though. He is the dunk god for sure. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate everything he does on the court. But just hey man, y'all gotta pipe down. Listen to Drake. Drake's got a good song for y'all, telling y'all to pipe down a bit.
Speaking of
How
piping
much
down,
it's
man,
gonna take for you to
it's
pipe
time
down?
for us to get out of here too. We've been with y'all all week. It's been a really fun one as always. Thank you for joining us all week on SimWorld Today. We'll see you next week on Monday for another episode of SimWorld Today. And until then, you guys
Drake's
remember,
up.
just because it's the off season, drinks up. Yes, sir. Just because it's the off season does not mean that you can do what, yells?
See the
See the
game,
game
be
and
the
be the
game.
game. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you Monday.